Hello, fellow Movie Crusaders, and welcome to our latest episode. I am here to review the Netflix film The Bubble. The Bubble was directed by Judd Apatow, who I actually am a pretty solid fan of. He directed one of my favorite comedies of all time, The 40-Year-Old Virgin. He also directed Knocked Up, King of Staten Island, which came out a couple years back. Funny People. He's definitely got a pretty good eye for comedies. He tends to have a great cast around him. So when I saw the trailer for The Bubble, it definitely left me really intrigued by how this film would go. Just like with all Judd Apatow movies, this has got a fantastic cast. I mean, the cast is endless. There are people who pop up just for a scene here or there, and then you got the main core cast. The main plot of The Bubble is basically it's a movie that's being shot during the pandemic where all these actors have to stay at a hotel in a bubble until they have to go out and shoot this film, which is basically a spoof movie called Cliff Beasts. Kind of like their version of like a Transformers, Fast and the Furious kind of film. Your main cast, you got Karen Gillan, who plays Carol Cobb. You got Fred Armisen, who plays the director, Darren Egan. You've got Gus Kahn, who plays Howie Frangopoulos. I said that so wrong. You also got Pedro Pascal. You've got Leslie Mann, who's pretty much in almost every Judd Apatow film because that's her husband. You got David Duchovny. You've got Judd Apatow's daughter, Iris Apatow. You got Keegan-Michael Key, Kate McKinnon. The list goes on and on. This has got a great comedic cast all the way through. And the thing about this is literally kind of watching these characters kind of further and further go into insanity because they're being stuck in this pandemic bubble and having to shoot a very poorly made film. And just watching them kind of react and kind of deal with being in this kind of situation. With Judd Apatow, one thing I've always really loved about his humor is, once again, he gets a lot out of his cast with the script that he has. 40-Year-Old Virgin being one of those where you got this tight-knit group of guys who can riff and do improv and make it funny and make the characters have heart and make you really feel about those characters throughout the whole film. Same thing goes with like Funny People, This Is 40, everything like that as well. With The Bubble, the main problem that you run into with The Bubble is that it's not that funny. It just really isn't, which is really sad because this is a great comedic cast. Pedro Pascal, Karen Gillan, David Duchovny, actually. I would say this. David Duchovny probably is the one actor in this film that actually made me chuckle a few times. He's got some great, like, little one-liner zingers. Leslie Mann, who I love in mostly everything that I see her in, she's fine in the film, but once again, lacks any kind of humor in the film. One person in this movie who I really hadn't watched a whole lot of because she's only really been in one film is, Maria Bakalova. She plays Anika. She's one of the people who work in the hotel that all the actors are staying in. I never saw the second Borat film because I'm not a fan of Borat. I loved her in this, and I wish they had used her a lot more in the movie. She's good in the film. Her and Pedro Pascal have some great banter back and forth. Pedro Pascal, once again, another actor who's really good in the film, but is not utilized to his fullest. Same thing with Keegan-Michael Key. The problem, like I said, with The Bubble is that the script's just not funny, and it's an over 2 hour movie, and I kept checking the time after 30 minutes, after an hour, and after an hour and a half. This movie feels really, really long because it's very claustrophobic in its sense. I mean, they're either stuck at the hotel or they're on the set. And it's just void of anything real humorless. It's kind of trying to do that kind of cringy comedy like The Office in a way, but it's not done in a way that's pretty much void of any humor. You can tell that the actors are trying. They really are, but the script really lacks any kind of punching power that can really elevate them to have some really great delivered lines. It's only a few times in the film that you actually got a good chuckle out of it. There's some really weird scenes that are just kind of thrown in here just to be thrown in. One is basically kind of a face swapping scene that has one funny joke, but it's in the trailers, and then the rest of it's just kind of off-putting and weird and doesn't really have any sense to why they're doing it. There's a whole TikTok thing throughout the film with the Iris Apatow character Crystal. None of it's ever funny or amusing. There's one part in the film where they actually interact the TikTok stuff into the Cliff Beast movie. It's very cringy bad. Pedro Pascal does save the scene a little bit with his dialogue, but there is moments of this movie that you're just wondering how much longer does this movie have to go, which is also kind of a problem with some Judd Apatow films, 40-Year-Old Virgin in particular, where the movies tend to run a little long. Comedy films really kind of have this sweet spot of like an hour and a half, hour 45 window, and when you go past that, the jokes don't tend to keep carrying on, or they tend to run stale after the hour 45 minute mark. This one is over 2 hours, and there's not even about probably 10 minutes worth of good jokes in the film overall. It's trying its best to be kind of like this Tropic Thunder-esque kind of film where it's a movie within a movie, and it's kind of more of a documentary about how this movie is made. But unlike Tropic Thunder, it's just not funny. The characters here, like I said, great cast. Not all of them are utilized to their potential. I'd say Karen Gillan gets the most to do, but she's really relegated to kind of just being whiny and relatively annoyed for most of the film. And she's a funny actress, but she's really not given much to do in terms of comedy, except for just kind of being an annoying character. Like I said, the best one, or at least the one that got me to chuckle the most, was probably David Duchovny because of his dry approach to his lines. The movie itself, I wanted to like it because I like Judd Apatow and I love this cast. But the movie's script is really where it falls apart. And it just goes all over the place with its script. Scenes that are just kind of thrown in just to be thrown in to be weird. There's one particular scene in the third act with the dinosaurs that they're filming. They add a certain aspect to the dinosaur characters. And it's just stupid. It's really stupid. And the characters know it's stupid, and they call it out that it's stupid. And it's supposed to be like you're in on the joke, but at that point, you're like an hour 50 into the film, and you just want the movie to end. And it just is not a movie that really, I wouldn't say waste your time watching, which sucks, because like I said, it was a movie that I was generally excited about. It came out on April 1st, comedy, it should work. Ultimately, it's a failed attempt for Judd Apatow, probably his worst movie to date. In terms of a score, I'll give The Bubble a 42%. Like I said, great cast. They're trying. The script just ultimately fails them in the end. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. If you guys did, go ahead and hit that like, share, and subscribe button to the channel so you guys stay up to date with all the latest videos that pop up on the Movie Crusaders. And of course, don't forget to follow us on all the social media outlets you see below. Coming up next, we also have the review for Morbius out as well. We also have, coming up this week, Brian Michaels and myself will be doing our Actor, Actress, Director Showcase, where we'll be talking about Nicolas Cage, Michael Bay, and Charlize Theron. We will also be doing episodes for the Movie Crusaders Chat About, where we'll be talking about remakes, reboots, and original films, as well as cult films. And then we will also be doing a summer movie preview at the end of the month, where we'll be talking about our predictions for the summer movies that are coming out. Also, next week, we will be having reviews for Ambulance and Sonic the Hedgehog 2. So we got plenty of videos coming down the pipe. Hope you guys check those out. And until next time, in case I don't see you, good morning, good afternoon, and good night, Movie Crusaders.
You're still here. It's over. Go home.